I'll try to be brief, but when I'm talking about my grandson Josiah, that's a little hard to do. Of course, I'm Dave Bohner. I'm Josiah's grandfather. Been with him from the get-go when we started this journey in baseball. A little background on Josiah. He was born with progeria, which is early aging disease. At age 6, Josiah found his passion for baseball while playing in the backyard with some kids next door. In May 2010, he got to play his very first Little League game. The story spread about his love for baseball all around our community and outside of the community. In late 2010, during 2010, I got a call from ESPN, E60, and they did a story on Josiah. And that was one of 2 stories that they did in 2010. And the other one was in 2017. Sometime later, though, because of his progeria, he was unable to play baseball anymore because of arthritis in his knees and his arms. It's very disappointing for him. Fast forward to 2013. Josiah receives an invitation through Children's Miracle Network to attend a State College Spikes game. Of course, Josiah was not going to turn a trip down to baseball. Game day arrives and we're off to State College. Josiah's boiling over with excitement. Now it's game time. A walk-off win that night. Josiah was invited out again. Another walk-off win. The coach, Ollie Marmol, that year states, we have to get this kid a locker. And now Josiah's incredible 5-year journey with the State College Spikes began. Josiah gets his own locker and is named honorary bench coach of the State College Spikes. Josiah interacted with many players during his time with the Spikes, and he had many private conversations with players and coaches alike. Even at his young age, he always had his one-liners, which caught many by surprise. Game days, he always wanted to be at the stadium first. Believe me, he wanted to be at the stadium first, really early, before the players even arrived, or the coaches. And he usually was the last to leave after a game. Not only did the players and staff get attached to Josiah, but the fans did too. They would always cheer when Josiah was announced onto the field for the game or when he threw his usual first pitch. We have many great memories of Josiah with the Spikes, too numerous to share in a short amount of time. In my heart, I believe Josiah's best moment was the last time he set foot on Medlar Field. The 2018 All-Star Game at State College. For many months prior to the All-Star Game, he would share with me his excitement that the game was going to be at home. Night of the All-Star Game, the 9th inning. Manager Joe Cruza lets Josiah go out to the mound to change pitchers. At this point in his life, it was extreme pain for him even to walk. Coach asked if he wanted to be carried, and Jose, in his normal voice, said, "No, I'm walking out myself." He was a tough kid who would not admit he was in pain. After changing pitchers, he struggled back to home plate with obvious pain showing on his face. The fans and players alike, standing to their feet, cheered him on as he tipped his hat for what would be his last season at Medlar Field. Afterwards, he said to me, "Pat, that was the best ever." I asked Josiah why. "You did the same thing at last year's All-Star Game." Josiah gave me a big hug and said, "We're at home, Pat. There's nothing like being at home." Josiah's 5 years with the Spikes is an amazing story to say the least. He was a recipient of 2 New York Penn League championship rings, one in 2014 and again in 2016. In 2014, he received the Baseball Writers Association of America Good Guy Award in St. Louis. In 2015, at the baseball winter meetings in Nashville, Tennessee, he was given the Minor League Baseball Presidential Award presented by MILB President Pat O'Connor. He had his own baseball cards, cover photos on Spikes calendars, the Josiah Viera Perseverance Award, of which he picked a player each year. He also had the opportunity to hang out with our neighbors across the street, the Penn State Nittany Lions football team, and also hung out with the baseball team for the Penn State. Also, one of his most favorite times during games was doing play-by-play on Spike's radio broadcast with Joe Putnam, who's here today, and Steve Jones, They lovingly called them the action innings. That is a story in itself. Josiah, along with his family, have had the honor of meeting many young ball players, some of whom have gone on to play Major League Baseball. There are a few that we still stay in contact with, those still playing ball or coaching, and some now in private life. All have said that Josiah had a profound impact on their lives. I could go on, but it would take hours to share. But I want you to know that the name Josiah Viera would have probably never been known in the world of baseball had it not been for that one phone call inviting Josiah to a ball game at the State College Spikes. Little did we know the incredible journey that was ahead. On Christmas Eve 2018, Josiah suddenly passed away. The news spread throughout the baseball world. His story continues to live on with the State College Spikes. This past season, Josiah's name and number were retired by the Spikes. You will see it hanging on the right outfield wall at Medlar Field. Also this past August at the All-Star Game in Staten Island, to an emotional standing ovation lasting minutes, Josiah Viera was inducted into the New York Penn League Hall of Fame. There are not enough words I can say to thank the State College Spikes for the many wonderful memories created during Josiah's time with the Spikes. From that very first game until the 2019 opening day game celebrating Josiah's life, I believe Josiah's legacy will live on at the State College Spikes. Our friends at the Spikes are, and forever will be, our extended family. Josiah's first ever made t-shirt when he played Little League read "Friends Forever." The last t-shirt he made, he drew himself, one of which I'm wearing today, in which he said many times to others, to ball players, to friends, never give up. Josiah impacted many lives inside and outside of baseball with his positive attitude. Because of the Spikes, or St. Louis Cardinals affiliate, Josiah had the honor of being an honorary St. Louis Cardinal. He loved being a Cardinal, but he was and always will be a State College Spike. Many thanks to the State College Spikes for allowing us to be part of an incredible baseball franchise and family. May Josiah's story continue to inspire and encourage those who will come to play baseball with the State College Spikes. And finally, to the fans, Josiah not only loved his team, but he loved the fans who came to each game. Whether at home or away, Josiah appreciated and loved the fans. Thank you to all the fans for your continued support of the State College Spikes, and to the other 41 teams around the country. To your fans, I like to say, support your teams. Get out there and support your teams. Thank you. And I have to mention one other person. I want to mention two people before I finish. This all started in 2013 from a phone call from a friend I see standing in the back, J.D. Dombach, who was the general manager at the time. We communicated a lot, buddy, to get Josiah out here. And who started the story, and to Scott and the staff who kept Josiah's story going. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Go Spikes, and never give up.